Welcome to Nerds Amalgamated, a podcast that covers the latest events in science, pop culture, and gaming.
I'm the professor, aspiring game developer, sci-fi aficionado, and completely and undeniably a geek trying to take over the world. I'll be breaking down the news from tech to gaming.
I am the DJ, a humble nerd, a big weeb,
and a watcher from the halls of the multiverse.
Just kidding. Anyways, I'll be breaking down all things comics to movies to anime.
Join us and stay hydrated as we quench you with witty banter, unintentionally hilarious hot takes, and trivia more fun than a night at the pub, courtesy of Nerds Amalgamated. Welcome back to Nerds Amalgamated. This week we're talking about the Minecraft lawsuit, Android killing sideloading apps, and social media training for children, specifically child actors.
Yeah, before we get on to our episodes, we got a couple of housekeeping stuff to talk about. We've got a new RSS feed. Yay, a new RSS feed. So for those who want to know, what new RSS feed it is feeds.captive.fm/nerdsamalgamatedpod. That's all in one word, and that will give you they'll update you. They'll send you to a new couple of episodes that we've updated as well, and an archive of our old episodes as well.
You really didn't think through what you were going to say before you said it there, did you?
Nope, I did not think this through. Also, we got this episode is sponsored by Rez, good friends at Rez, lovely Rez. They're an energy drink that will give us focus and energy for the long game, and it's crafted from traditional herbs and quality extracts. It relieves fatigue and eye strain and supports eye health. And it will also give us mental endurance and stamina to give you hit points in real life. So yeah, I'm just going to try a lovely sachet of Rez.
Any interesting drink this time, DJ?
This time it is a lovely flavor of apple crisp. There we go.
What are you mixing it with?
Oh, I'm just going to be mixing it with water this time. I subverted your expectations, didn't I?
You fell off.
So yeah, I'm giving this lovely drink a chance. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff. So yeah, and so for special offer, we're giving each of our listeners a 10% discount when you type nerds onto the checkout. You get a 10% discount, and every can you purchase, we get a cut of it. So if you like to support our channel, buy a can of Rez and enjoy your gaming sessions with it.
All right, well, our first topic this week, the Minecraft lawsuit. Minecraft, or Mojang, who are owned by Microsoft, are being sued in a class action lawsuit led by Kian Bros.
So who is Kian Bros?
Kian is a YouTuber, and they've decided to come up with a class action lawsuit against Microsoft because they're not happy with the way the Minecraft terms and conditions have evolved. So you might have, if you've followed Minecraft for the last couple of years, you might have noticed there's a few things going on there. One of the key things that they've picked up on is that the terms and conditions were changed to stop people from modding guns into the game.
Why'd you want to carry guns in a Minecraft game?
Because Minecraft has historically been incredibly moddable, and you can turn it into anything you want as long as that thing is based around 1 meter squared blocks.
So they want to put guns into Minecraft. This specific modder.
Yeah.
I can totally see it now. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna use a pistol just to get rid of the creepers, and for the Enderman, I'll just use a RPG. There we go.
I mean, you can if you want. It's Minecraft. That is the whole point of modding it. But it's not just guns. Back on the guns topic, actually, they've had guns in the game for basically since the game came out as mods. Mojang obviously are not going to add guns to the game because they feel like it doesn't fit the fantasy themes, which is perfectly acceptable. But because Minecraft is a Java game, it's incredibly easy to decompile it and find out what makes it tick so that you can make mods for it.
Okay. And what's Microsoft's stance on the whole modding element to this to Minecraft? They must be really upset about the whole doing all this sort of things into the game.
Well, yes and no, because they have allowed. So there's a second version of Minecraft called Bedrock Edition, which is Minecraft rewritten in C so that it runs better on handheld devices
Hmm.
and consoles and places you can't just run Java. So in Bedrock Edition, you can purchase add ons, which are officially created third party mods for the game, bought on a marketplace where Mojang gets a 66.6% cut of every sale. And some of those have guns in them.
As in actual guns, or or you have to mod them into the game.
No, they come with the add ons,
Okay.
which Mojang's excuse for that is that the guns in the add ons are fantasy blasters and don't feel gun like.
I I don't know. I mean, I played Minecraft Dungeons, and the guns they have in that game, I don't know, man. Like the crossbows and whatnot.
Well, that's a point they come up with a bit later on in this lawsuit.
Okay.
So then Mojang or Microsoft, whoever is making these decisions, sent out an updated terms of service for Minecraft, which basically banned adult content, so things that are not suitable for children and minors. And that included firearms. But they did this incredibly broadly and mentioned weapons, which, if you've ever played Minecraft, you know there are a ton of weapons.
Oh yeah, and you could create a ton of weapons as well.
Yeah. And there's also a note here about the crossbows.
Yeah.
Crossbows are treated as a type of firearm in some jurisdictions. So, should a crossbow be allowed in Minecraft under these terms of service or not?
I have no idea. I mean, it's classed. I mean, one of the other weapons that also featured in Minecraft, you can create a scythe. You can also create a
No, that must be a mod or dungeons thing. In vanilla
done.
Minecraft, you can make swords,
Yeah, yeah.
bows, axes. Technically, you can hit an enemy with anything, but those are the three that are basically weapons. You can also make crossbows.
Yeah, it's yeah, the scythe, by the way, it's a dungeons thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's Minecraft Dungeons, which is a spin off dungeon crawling game based on Minecraft.
So what is this lawsuit asking for essentially? Are they asking for any like monetary compensation, or is it bring back the bring back the services, or what's the end goal in this lawsuit?
Well, it's an argument against Mojang's terms of service that the terms of services can be changed at any time, and Mojang gets to do that without your consent, without informing you, and it's up to you to make sure you keep on top of it.
So it's similar to the Stop Killing Games initiative, in the manner of speaking.
Oh, it's Ross has spoken about it,
Oh yeah.
Ross being Ross Scott, but I wouldn't say it's entirely similar because Stop Killing Games is focused on maintaining access to games. This is more about allowing companies to change the terms of service whenever they want, which I suppose you could say is a point of Stop Killing Games because one of the points in Stop Killing Games is that Ubisoft have decided to update their terms of service and basically, actually, I don't remember the details of that off the top of my head, but from what I do recall, Ubisoft, sorry, not Microsoft, basically changing their terms of service to try to make it look more like they were allowed to shut down the game without any compensation to the players.
So with this with this lawsuit that's out now, how is the game development world reacting to it in general? Like, is it met with positive sentiment, or is it just yeah, you're just riding the coattails of Stop Killing Games, or
Well, this has been going on for more than 6 months. that this lawsuit started. Like they started raising funds for it 6 months ago, and the initial point of the lawsuit was basically damages for the for Kian, who is a mod creator who created guns, and they were basically suing because for the time and money spent during the development of their guns project, which turns out was against the Mojang terms of service, but nobody knew at the time. And now that's broadened to a class action on behalf of the Minecraft community to correct the contracts that bind consumers that play the game. So basically, getting companies to lock in a EULA, an end user license agreement, and related documents so that they can't use ambiguous wording or modify it and basically screw over the modding community that way.
What's the success rate of this lawsuit in your in your point point of view? Do you reckon this will end well, or I mean, we've seen a lot of games been hit with class action lawsuits, and they don't really go anywhere, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, I think since this one's being done in Europe, it has a better chance of going through and being successful.
Hmm.
But more on your previous question about the games industry response, I
Yeah.
haven't really seen anything about the response to this yet. But I think it's a good thing to have the rules laid out clearly in the EULA and terms of service as to what you're allowed to do, rather than having a vague, wishy washy thing that can be twisted to mean whatever the company wants it to do.
Yeah, yeah, it keeps the companies accountable in terms of, okay, we've said one thing, we're not gonna do a bait and switch. This will keep us accountable in a manner of speaking. But then, knowing games companies, accountability is like kryptonite to them.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how this lawsuit goes. It's only just getting rolling. But I think it's hopefully a good sign because it won't just be for games in the end, I believe. I believe that once this lawsuit wraps up and a precedent is set, then that precedent can be applied to any sort of software purchase. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the ramifications of this are in another year or however long it takes to wrap up.
And not to mention, like you're right with the whole. It will take these take a long time. It's also the fact that a lot of money gets involved in this as well. I mean, these lawsuits are not cheap.
No, they're not. Let's see the GoFundMe campaign and see how much money they raised. Okay, they raised nearly 1.5 million Swedish krona, which translated into AUD is less than I was expecting. So they've raised 1.46 million Swedish krona, and that translates to 235,000 Australian dollars.
Wow.
So I haven't been to Sweden, but countries that use krona, a krona is more like a cent than a dollar. So rather than having purchases be like just for comparison, rather than having a purchase be $9.99, if there was a 1-to-1 translation, it would be 999 krona. So that is I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I'm not an economist.
Yeah.
But, Norway and Sweden and Denmark and other countries that use krona seem to be getting along pretty well for themselves either way.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that's a bit beside the point. So,
Has the guy who created Minecraft said anything about this lawsuit in the matter of in any format?
no, I haven't found anything from Notch on this lawsuit. I do know he supports Stop Killing Games, but I don't know about this particular lawsuit.
I'm looking at the Minecraft subreddit, by the way, about this lawsuit, and some are saying it's a good thing. Some are saying it's a bad thing. So
Wow, what an
what's
insight. Really boiled down both sides of the argument here.
I saw one. I'm reading some of the comments here. Some say the law firm website is sus as fuck. It is a generic and poorly done WordPress site with no actual class action lawsuit that's been filed, and you expect people to willingly give all of that personal info on a Google Docs page. Class action suits have a legitimate process doing that info. Google Doc isn't it. I cannot find anything linking to the law firm to any cases. So he's basically griping on the fact that the law firm involved in this, they look shady as hell. And another one says, oh hey, I remember hearing about this. Their argument is utterly irrelevant in court and is almost certainly getting thrown out if I recall. And then he edited by saying, yeah, class action lawsuits in Sweden require claimants to be representatives of the group they're filing on the behalf of, and there's no basis of any of the claims made in the initial video. Hell, the fundraising video itself could be grounds for dismissal.
Well, that's worrying. I don't know enough about the Swedish laws to really say on this, but yeah, that's a bit of a red flag there.
Yeah. What's also interesting, I don't know whether there's a correlation to it. It's interesting how first it was Roblox, now it's Minecraft that have been hit with lawsuits recently.
Completely different reasons.
True, but it's just the timing is just hilarious if you think about it.
I'm thinking about it and I don't think it's hilarious.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Roblox is being sued for not doing enough to protect children. Mojang is being sued because they allegedly illegally changed the terms of service. They're completely different things. I don't see how you think they're connected.
Well, someone wrote there. Someone wrote in the comment on Reddit. First Roblox and now Minecraft. This was done on my 2025 bingo card.
Okay.
But yeah, um, as I said earlier, with the whole the class action lawsuits, when I asked about the success rates, if let's say they failed at the home country, can they take this to the EU in this in and argue their case there, or is it just it happened in Sweden? You can't do anything. You can't go up.
I don't know enough about EU law to say one way or the other.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So let's move on to our next topic. Android is making me mad.
Really? How so?
They want to take away your ability to sideload apps.
Okay, what is sideloading? I've heard that term being brought up a lot in the last few days. So I've heard Linus talk about that term. I've heard seen the articles that I posted on on our show notes talk about that term. So what is it? What does the term mean? Sideloading.
It's when you take an app that isn't from the official store and load it onto your phone.
Okay, so basically, say if it's an iTunes app from the Apple Store, so the act of transferring an Apple app to a Android product, it's called
No.
sideloading. Oh, is it? Oh, okay,
You can't do that because the operating systems are too different.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So you take an app somebody made for Android but isn't on the Android store and install it on an Android phone.
Okay.
I've got a handful of side-loaded apps on my phone.
So how is Android killing the sideloading business?
Well, for the reason of security, they've decided that they need to verify the identities of developers who are outside the Play Store, which kind of defeats the purpose of not being on the Play Store. They're trying to lock down Android for the reason that they claim, and force you to give them your ID to develop an app for Android.
So in other words, Android just wants you to dox yourself.
Yeah, and one of the big difficulties there is that you have an open source app developed by 100 different people. Whose identity do you use?
I mean, if it was like Angry Birds, for example, a team of 5 people, wouldn't it be just the guy who created the idea in the first place?
No, Angry Birds is a different situation because it's a Play Store app
Okay.
and it's made by a company. Open source apps aren't behind a company,
Yeah.
and they can have hundreds of developers who might have done as much as add one line of code each, but they come under a license that allows you to do that and to use the app without having to get permission from all 100 developers. But who is going to be responsible for submitting their ID to get the app to be allowed onto the Play Store, or not even the Play Store now, onto the Android OS? You need to provide your legal name, address, email, and phone number.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Nah, I'm not risking it. If I were to create a if I were to create something like that, no, I wouldn't submit myself to that.
Yep. So they're trying to kill side-loading apps, which is a hugely important part of actually owning your device, because you're allowed to actually install apps that you want to on your phone. It will prevent you from making your own apps because you'll have to have a developer account with Google. So a hobbyist can't tinker with their phone anymore.
So,
And
but
at this point, as far as I'm concerned, if Google is going to be like Apple, why should I buy a Google phone? I mean, I won't buy an Apple phone either, but there are definite benefits to having an Apple phone that there aren't having a Google phone. Like, you can theoretically mostly trust that Apple aren't using your data to train AI.
hmm.
I mean, they probably are, but not as publicly as Google. I mean, Apple's big push in the last few years has been privacy. That's iPhone, which is a big fat lie. Sure, you're not being tracked by 100 companies, you're just being tracked by Apple, who wants to be the cyberpunk megacorp.
Oh, jeez.
I used to have to walk past a billboard that had it to get to work, and it was just a picture of a person holding an iPhone in front of their face with the words privacy. That's iPhone. Pissed me off every time.
I could totally see it when you get to work after seeing that billboard. You just want to toss a chair out of the window. Just go like, fucking iPhone, you fucking privacy my ass. But this sort of stunt, this sort of privacy and this sort of stunt that Android's pulling off, you just kill what Android has basically done is they've killed off the one thing that made Android better than iOS in terms of customability. Remember the good old times when Samsung had the Galaxy phones and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, because it's got a Galaxy phone, you can customize your phone to whatever it looks like and whatever you can do to it and stuff." This kills off the selling point of your Android phones.
I mean, yeah, they've been locking that down for years now. And frankly, I should have seen this coming, but I didn't. So let's see what apps I have installed that aren't official Play Store apps.
Hmm.
I have a couple of keyboards that are privacy respecting. I have open source apps for accessing Lemmy, which is a Reddit type website, but part of the Fediverse, so it's decentralized.
Okay.
I have Emacs for when I feel like doing some code on the go. I have Image, which is a alternative to Google Photos. I have a server set up. Well, I'm actually in the process of setting it up at the moment, but I have a server set up where I'm going to upload photos that I have taken on my phone, and it will then be able to transmit to my mum's smart photo frame. I have Jellyfin, which lets me access my Jellyfin server, which is a home media solution for hosting movies and audiobooks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have a Lighthouse power management app for controlling my VR lighthouses.
So all of these programs are going to will just be dead.
Yeah, and looking at it, the rest of them are mostly games that I've installed. Open source games can be ported to any platform if someone puts the effort in. And there's a couple of great ones that I have on there, like Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, which is tricky to play without a keyboard, but so I haven't played it much. But there's other great ones like Shattered Pixel Dungeon, which is much easier to play without a keyboard. And some of these apps you can actually get through the Play Store because the developers have gone ahead and created a developer account, paid the fee, and given away their identity.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all sideloaded.
The sad part about this entire saga is the fact that you've this will reduce the barrier of entry for like casual developers and maybe like
Do
even
you mean increase the barrier of entry? You said decrease, as in
yeah.
make it easier.
Oh, no, I meant it will increase the barrier of entry. Sorry, yeah, my mistake. Yeah, this will make it harder for casual devs and students to just go find sideloading apps.
Yeah.
Although, also, I'm curious about so this move, by the way. So this hasn't been is it a global thing or is it just certain countries for now and a global thing later down the track?
Uh, it will be global.
Oh damn.
They're rolling out to a couple of countries in the next year, specifically Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. And then they will roll it out globally from there.
So with this entire thing, are we seeing the death of emulation on Android phones?
I wouldn't necessarily say that
Hmm.
because there are some emulators that are available on the Play Store. So you don't need to sideload them.
Okay. Yeah, and then you also have to wonder as well. These emulated devs, when they do you reckon they will risk exposing their identities and and abandon Android because of this?
Yeah, I think we're going to lose a lot of developers who don't want to give up their identity to create an app.
Yeah, and also the when you look at it from a big picture sort of sense, like this whole move, this also reduces users to having the this also reduces users to not have the right to install whatever they want on a device, even if it's risky. Like it's like a nanny. You just made Google into a nanny state in terms of no, you can't put this on your phone. No, you can't put that on your phone.
Basically, who really owns our phones?
Yeah,
If we
yeah, that's
can't install our own software, we don't really own them. That's one of the things Stallman was right about. I mean, he's been wrong about a lot, but he had that thing which was right. So you can't completely throw the baby with the bathwater.
who do you think loses more in this sort of move? Is it the gamers, the indie devs, or the users?
Well, hopefully, the scammers who trick you into installing fake apps and then steal your data or do some other nasty things to you. But practically, I think it's going to mostly affect open source projects.
When you say like open source projects, what do you mean by that exactly?
Well, projects where you can download the source code and edit it and make your own version of the app. So, because of this, they're going to have to put a face to the app, and I can see a lot of projects are not going to have somebody willing to do that.
Yeah, yeah, and it also with this whole move, it also brings up a question about the security of freedom in terms of what matters more on your phone.
Yeah, I definitely lean towards having the freedom to do stuff on my phone rather than security. Like, I think it's already hard enough to get people to install side-loaded apps because you still need to go in and specifically turn them on. You can't just download them from the internet. And I think maybe if they made that warning a bit stronger, say, do not install this app unless you really trust the person behind it.
Yeah, but then they'll feel like it'll feel like those adult websites, like, are you actually 18 plus to visit this adult site?
Yeah, but it's a little bit of friction to getting people to install fake apps. I think that I don't think having a developer account is going to be enough of a deterrent to stop fake apps.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And I mean, with the current state, with what's happening recently, with our country and England as well, with the whole social media blocking apps and whatnot. I mean, it's. I think we see. I think that's what's going to happen with phones.
Yeah, they're just going to get locked down and the internet's going to become a slightly smaller space.
Mm-hmm. But it will protect the children, as a celebrity would say. Yes, I know it's
Yes,
a very.
DJ, tell us about the Harry Potter child actors and their social media training.
Yes, it was a very terrible segue. So Sophie Turner, right? The actress that was famous in Game of Thrones as Sansa Stark.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh man, poor man. Good show. Well, yeah, okay, good show until the final season. Let's put it that way. So Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones fame recently said that about the young cast of the upcoming Harry Potter TV series. She's basically said that at the age of 14, social media quote almost destroyed her, causing severe impacts on her mental health, causing anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder. Her heartfelt advice about it is that she feels deep empathy for the newer, younger faces now heading into the Harry Potter show, in which she said, and I quote, I just want to give them a hug and say, look, it's going to be okay, but don't go anywhere near social media. She encouraged them to stay grounded by keeping their friendships from home, continuing to live at home with their families, and making sure their parents act as chaperones. And when thinking ahead as a parent, Sophie reflected on her own childhood fame, where she joked, perhaps half seriously, that she had never allowed her children to act professionally until at the age of 25. And for the context in terms of the Harry Potter series, the new Harry Potter series will adapt each Harry Potter book into its own season, with a cast chosen over 32,000 auditions.
Yeah, and they've kept the same costumes from the originals.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you reckon of Sophie's advice on this on this? You reckon it's a good advice in general, or
Yeah, it's a good start. The whatever happens, social media is going to be absolutely brutal to these kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean the amount of the amount of internet stuff when it comes to celebrities is insane. I mean, remember when COVID became a thing? When COVID happened, and all these celebrities went to social media just to do stuff, and got absolutely destroyed for it.
Not even that. There's like people will create pages on Facebook and Reddit and all that specifically dedicated to hating on particular actors.
Are you serious? I've heard of snark pages on Reddit, but I did not know there are actual pages hating on celebrities. Damn.
Yeah, I can't name any off the top of my head, probably because it's been over 2 years since I've used Reddit. But yeah, it's the internet's not a nice place.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a given. Yeah, but then the internet, while it's so I agree with Sophie in terms of like the kids should get out of social media, but then you also have to wonder like sometimes the parents can force that onto the kids.
Force what?
Like, oh, kids, have a TikTok account, make yourself be more involved, and do this TikTok dance, that kind of thing.
I mean, they're already child actors, so there's already the risk of exploitation there.
Yeah,
Like, people make a big deal about having your kids on social media and using them to push your product or whatever. But child acting is kind of the same deal. You're putting them into a world that they don't have the capacity to fully understand until they're older.
yeah,
And that's why we need such strong protections for child actors. And I don't think there's that level of protection for social media users yet. So, yeah, it's probably a good idea to not have the child actors from this new Harry Potter series on the internet because people are going to hate them because they're not the same as the originals. People are going to hate them because they're too much the same. People are going to hate them because J.K. Rowling's a horrible person.
yeah, yeah. It feels like the kids are just martyrs for for a bigger for the culture war at this point.
Yeah, like the adults who are involved, like Nick Frost, they know what they're getting into. The kids don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen a lot, and we've seen time and time again, Hollywood and how they treated child stars in terms of the spotlight. I mean, the kid from Star Wars. Remember how he was bullied as hell, bullied to oblivion? The guy who played as Kid Anakin.
Yeah, and the first one that came to mind for me was what's her name? The girl from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland. I was thinking Gardner, and I was like, no, that's not right. Like Judy Garland was fed multiple packs of cigarettes a day to keep her thin, and
No way.
yeah, was put on. I think she was put on weight loss drugs and stuff like that.
I also remembered remember the kid from The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how he was he was bullied off. He was also bullied as well. What was his Haley Joel Osment? That's the one. Like being a child star, it's not a simple gig. It tears you up inside. I mean, look at Macaulay Culkin after what happened to him. I mean, now he's gone through a career resurgence, but back remember when he was during his child actor days.
Yeah, he got really into drugs for a while.
Yeah, not only that, his parents screwed him over. Like when they took his money and misappropriated it as well.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, yeah. What's also interesting I've noticed, what in terms of helping the kids, BBC, well, not BBC, the HBO studios, they have built a school for the child actors to attend during filming over the next 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
the child actors from the original series were part of that, but as well. But making one movie a year is also a lot less work than making a full series.
yeah. And he get this, right? So the Three Rivers District Council is permitting the studio to quote use a series of portable buildings as school facility for the next decade. The proposed classrooms have been designed to be used up to 600 pupils during peak periods where large crowd scenes are shot, but will typically serve about 150 students. It will operate on weekdays between 5:30 in the morning and 8:30 at night, so young actors could fit in their actual studies during night shoots, reshoots, and location filming.
That sounds grueling.
And they've also stated that they did note that the schools would be used for quote significant TV series, which will base itself as a studio for the next 8 to 10 years. The school infrastructure will be in place for a period of 10 years. I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
No, that's basically your whole time at school for some of these kids.
Oh yeah. So that's all. That being said, though, when you look at the social media, or we look at the social media element to it, you're not gonna fit social media into that grueling schedule, unless if you're like on the weekends.
Yeah, yeah, where would they fit in extra training?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about this, the whole social media training. Remember with the Oscars and how the Oscars have adopted roles into actors doing social media training during award season. You reckon this whole thing is a step in the right direction?
Well, I think it's different. The Oscars stuff was about social media training to make sure that you don't say something stupid that makes your movie bomb.
Hmm.
This is more about protecting yourself from the haters.
Yeah. That being said, though, you reckon the fans and the media will need to rethink how they interact and talk with the child actors online?
Yeah, but you're never going to get that to happen.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are horrible, and they'll always be horrible.
Yeah. And what's also an interesting fact that with what Sophie was talking about in terms of the whole idea of child actors, you reckon it's fair to keep the children away from acting opportunities until they're adults, as Tono suggested?
Well, yeah, it's like there's a push at the moment to not allow people to have social media until they're adults,
Mm,
which to an extent, yeah, because there's a lot of people who push their children into doing social media for their own benefit
yeah.
rather than the child's benefit. Like I saw a video the other day where a some health and wellness guru grifter was making his child go through a shop and point out all of the foods that he doesn't approve. And it's like, you're going to give your child an eating disorder. They
Y-
shouldn't be worrying about that at like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And also, being on social media as a child can definitely expose you to an environment that is not good for your development.
Yeah, it changes a lot of people when they hit that when they get that fame. It changes a lot of child actors and actors alike, and even social media personalities. It changes a lot of people.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should take a quick break and we'll be back with our shoutouts. For our shoutouts this week, we have the 27th of August 1955, when the first edition of the Guinness Book of Records was published in Great Britain. The Guinness World Records, first known as the Guinness Book of Records, or in the US, the Guinness Book of World Records, is an annual reference book published in Britain, which shocked me because I thought Guinness was an Irish thing.
Ah, yeah. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, so I would have assumed that
The beer company would have
yeah,
funded
well,
this.
I would have assumed it would be an Irish thing.
Yeah.
The concept was created by Sir Hugh Beaver, and brothers Norris and Ross McWhirter co-founded the book. The database is over 53,000 records.
Only 53,000. Oh,
Yep.
that's not much.
And now there's a whole bunch of them that they banned, like gaming marathons, because people were literally dying.
Oh shit.
So the first edition was 198 pages and was the top British bestseller by Christmas. The following year, it was introduced to the United States and has to date sold more than 150 million copies in 100 countries and 40 languages.
By the way, when you were mentioning gaming marathon, the Guinness has the longest video game marathon was achieved on the 17th of July 2015 in the US by Carrie Swidecki, and it lasted for 138 hours, and 34 seconds. And this was playing Just Dance 2015 at Otto's Video Games and More in Bakersfield, California, from the 11th to the 17th of July 2015. She was attempting
Just
to.
Dance. So that's an intense movement game.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
not just sitting there mashing buttons.
I used to remember as well with the Guinness World Records, it's how they would have tons and tons of TV shows related to that concept of people breaking records.
Yeah.
It's
Apparently,
like,
they also had a show from 1972 to 2001 called Record Breakers, where the McWhirter brothers would answer questions from children in the audience about the world records, and were able to use their encyclopedic memory to give correct answers.
damn.
Ross McWhirter was assassinated by the Provisional Irish Republican Army in 1975.
Oh, damn.
Hey, what's funny about that?
I'm just saying, he got that like the guy who made the Guinness World Records. He got assassinated. I mean, damn, man.
And on the 27th of August 1956, the Calder Hall nuclear power station came online, becoming the world's first commercial nuclear power station to generate electricity on an industrial scale. The Calder Hall power station was a Magnox power station at Sellafield in Cumbria. It was the sister plant to the Chapel Cross plant in Scotland, and the primary purpose was to create weapons-grade plutonium for the UK's nuclear weapons program, but also generated power for the national grid.
Can you imagine telling people that living near the power station, like, "Hey, we're going to be making some weapons grade plutonium, and as a side effect, you get electrical power as well."
I imagine the production of the weapons-grade plutonium was classified. So probably just like, look, we're building a power plant for you guys. Oops, we made a bomb, hee hee.
I'm surprised that like when normally when you have like nuclear power stations in areas like these, you would have incidents like Fukushima or 3 Mile Island, for example. I'm surprised that there were no incidents involved with this station.
Well, the thing is, the number of nuclear accidents is a tiny fraction of the number of nuclear plants. But the UK has had its own nuclear accident, Windscale,
Okay.
which is the game Atomfall is based on it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of wow. All right. A lot of yeah.
Yeah,
Ha-
basically the nuclear reactor caught fire
Oh.
and released a ton of radiation into the atmosphere, which may have caused up to 240 additional cancer cases.
Oh. How many were Chernobyl? Like, when they had when
Uh,
they had Chernobyl was a lot more, wasn't it?
I'll have to check that. The Original blast caused about 30 deaths and a maximum of 60 deaths since,
Damn.
according to this Wikipedia article.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, which feels like it's low, but also don't compare the wind scale incident to this because wind scale was just cancer cases, not necessarily deaths.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the Calder Hall and Chapel Cross design was known as PIPA, the pressurized pile producing power and plutonium. And onto our messed up moment for this week. What have you got for us, DJ?
Okay, so I have a question for you, Professor. What do you think of army tactics that include burning people alive?
Well, I did read recently that the flamethrower was considered a humane weapon because nobody screamed after they'd been flamethrowered. It
Oh,
wasn't until later
Jesus.
they did the research and found out that the reason nobody screamed is because they were physically incapable of doing so.
Uh-huh.
Because
Well,
the flamethrower instantly fried your vocal cords and your lungs and it left you to suffocate slowly.
oh. Well, my messed up moment in nerddom it is involved an anime known as the Heroic Legend of Arslan, and there is a certain section called the Battle of Atropatene. So in this scene, there is Prince Arslan, and he was having his first battle, and he thought his battle would be a predictable thing, but it was very unpredictable. In this battle against the Lusitania army, the Parthian cavalry set out to destroy the enemy. However, they are met with a mysterious dense fog as they prepare to go into battle. Ignoring this strange development, they charge directly into the fog and fall into a deep ravine, in which takes out and injures many of the soldiers. But it gets worse when suddenly flame-covered arrows fly into the pit, setting a fire so wild that it burns all the trapped soldiers until there are no more.
What a way to go.
Yeah, the casualties in this list it is 53,000 horsemen and 74,000 footmen that were killed. That's from the Parthian side. Now put
Br-
the
Brutal.
yeah, that's a lot of soldiers. Would you say that's a very effective war tactic because I know you're a bit of a bit of a war enthusiast yourself.
Well, I'm a pacifist, so no. But the
Yeah,
history is interesting.
yeah, yeah,
And I play a lot of military simulators, so
yeah.
can you really call me a pacifist?
Yeah, yeah, good point.
But charging straight into fog seems like a bad idea because you don't know what you're going to trip over. In fact, just last night I made a tactical error myself and charged straight across a bridge into a tank sitting on the other side. That got my
What?
entire squad killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, the map on the map will show how it how it came about. Yeah.
Okay, and for our wacky movie this week, we have 2020's Sky Sharks, premiering in Brazil. Written and directed by Mark Fess, it was a sci fi comedy starring Jan Birch, Eva Haberman, Barbara Nedelyakova, and others. Nearly got me there.
Uh-huh.
A team of geologists exploring Antarctica discover a Nazi laboratory. In this laboratory, the Nazis created sharks who were able to fly.
Okay, how in the hell would that be a thing? Who came up with this plot?
I'm pretty sure they just have a wheel and they just spin it, and whatever word it lands on, they go with. After the movie came out, movie critic and YouTuber Robert Hoffman released a negative review on his YouTube channel. The producers of Sky Sharks reacted by insulting him and calling him a petty welfare receiver.
That is fascinating how the director got so offended they went to his Facebook page and just went, "You are a petty welfare receiver." Like that's gonna be the meanest insult known to man.
Yeah. The movie also featured Mick Garris, who played Dr. Gage Creed. Gage Creed is the name of a character from Pet Cemetery. Mick Garris has also written and directed King adaptations, including The Stand and The Shining. And one actor, Oliver Kalkoff, who plays Herman Goring in Sky Sharks, hosts a TV show similar to Mystery Science Theater 3000 called The Worst Movies of All Time. He was asked if Sky Sharks would be shown on the show. He replied that he would love to show it on the show, but later decided it was too bad for the worst movies of all time.
Can you imagine a movie that bad that you don't want to show it to people? It's like, I don't want to subject people to this torture, so I'm going to suffer in silence.
So that's all we have for this week. Look after yourself, stay hydrated, and find us on our new feed.
Stay happy, stay nerdy, guys. Check us out on social media and all other platforms. See you guys.